Welcome to the party.
Recording live for your pleasure. It's Johnny and TheGreg. And Greg is
Yeah.
clear. We're going to have this little internet thing today, guys, where Greg's fading in and he's fading out. So for the 8 people that watch it on YouTube, you might be a little distracted on Greg's side. So we apologize for that. For the rest of you audio people, same as always, buckle your seatbelts. Make sure you have your hands tended to and you are paying attention to the road.
For the rest of you audio people, I look fabulous right now. I mean, I am glowing.
You're missing it. You're missing it. He has on a sweatshirt that looks like he went hunting. It looks like it's a very warm sweatshirt. I have on a stocking cap. It's a little chilly down in my basement. I'm sorry, my studio. And so
Mickey Mouse t-shirt.
Yeah, so that brings us kind of into our topic today, which is basically you and I are whiskey drinkers, especially in the winter. It's getting that time to sit back.
Yeah.
Have that little warm, you know how it just kind of follows you down and just warms your heart and then it goes to your belly. You're feeling good.
Yep.
You want to snuggle a little.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of a crisp fall night around a campfire where I've got whiskey in one hand and a cigar in the other.
I agree.
It's good times.
Yeah, that's great times. This is my favorite time of year, to be honest. Besides the fact that I'm a Halloween nut, and I love the fall for football, for the food that I feel like right now, Greg, I am on a fat-tober where I'm not paying attention to my diet. I am drinking. I am eating everything that has pumpkin in it, and I am. I find myself. I think I had literally, those bite-sized Snicker bars and Milky Way bars yesterday. I had like. Probably 10 yesterday.
Okay, which is funny. You say 10, and some people are like, "Is that a lot?" I have that all the time. I don't know if that's a lot or not. So yeah, it's all relative. But
yeah,
I made a kick-ass batch of chili on Sunday.
We had chili Saturday.
My kids refused to touch. All my children are like, "I made chili." They're like, "No, we don't like it." Said, "You haven't tried it." I did try it once. I'm like, "You tried it once when you were 5 years old and haven't touched it since." So they still come. Yeah. They just don't like all of a sudden there are some things that I make and I make really well that my kids won't touch. It's like all of a sudden they think I'm a terrible cook, and I'm like, okay, I'm a really good cook. You guys need to really embrace that your dad can cook the pants off of most people. And like all your friends' parents, they don't do what I do. So why is it that I make one specific thing and you're like, "No, I don't like that." Like, bullshit. So anyway.
All right, now that Greg's done packing himself on the bat.
Yep.
We are going to go over whiskey. Now, you've done something that I wanted to do with you this summer, but a funny thing called COVID hit, and it's just not possible to do that. It's true. You went down the bourbon trail, and you learned how to actually drink whiskey. See, all you people out there that think you know how to drink whiskey, I bet you don't. So, congratulations, you're getting educated today.
And here's a distinction that I think is worth making, in that it is the difference between tasting whiskey and drinking whiskey. I mean, if you're drinking whiskey or bourbon or really anything at all, if you're drinking, or even better, if you're drinking, then have it however you want. It doesn't matter. I mean, don't let another adult tell you how to enjoy your alcohol. Life's too short for that. But if you're going to taste it and you want to pick up on the different hints and the different notes and the flavor palettes, if you want to get kind of deep into that, it's a little bit different of a process. So what I learned, and I learned this at Bullet Bourbon, which was the first tour we went on. I went down with my uncle, and the first one we hit was Bullet, and it was a great
Where'd
tour.
you do this? Where'd you do this?
This is in Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky. Everything we hit
Louisville.
upon. Well, the Bourbon Trail, Louisville. The Bourbon Trail itself is a Kentucky thing.
Okay.
We didn't know it at the time, but we found out it's like a lobbyist group that they just created this kind of tourist attraction. It has multiplied in distilleries since I was down there. So I went down with my uncle 2 years ago, I believe it was, and then you and I were going to go down, and that didn't happen, and here we are. But even since then, a lot more distilleries have been added. So you were hard pressed to even do it in a weekend. Like we went down for a long weekend and we couldn't hit up everything.
Right.
And now looking at the whole list, like if you wanted, it would be like a 2-week vacation if you wanted to hit.
Jeez,
all
no,
of
I
these
don't
distilleries.
think I could do that much. But
No, yeah, you couldn't. But tasting bourbon is a lot like tasting wine. Like there's a process to it.
okay.
And I am not a wine drinker, so I don't know how this compares to the wine tasting versus the bourbon tasting.
Right.
But there's like a step to it. So step one is what they tell you is that you take a look at the color of it. And so you kind of look at it, and some are darker than others. It all depends on kind of the ingredients that they use in the aging process. So you look at it and you kind of swirl it around and you go, okay. It's not anything that I really know what to look for in terms of color. I mean, some of them are lighter. The lighter ones are lighter in taste. If they're darker, the darker ones are more bold in taste. It's kind of the same thing with cigars.
Because they sat in a barrel, right?
Yeah, they sit
Longer,
in yep,
something like that.
and,
or they sit in a different type of barrel made of a certain type of wood, right?
well, and that's where things differ between whiskeys and bourbon. So, like, if you get a Kentucky bourbon, they use fresh oak barrels that are charred on the inside. So they take like a torch and char on the
Okay.
and that's it. Like that is, and it's a one-time use barrel. Now, after they use those barrels, some of the companies will sell their used barrels to other liquor companies. So that's where you can get certain beer that's been aged in a bourbon barrel, things like that. So that's so
I don't
those
think I've
barrels
ever had beer that was aged in a bourbon barrel.
Oh, next time you come up, we will.
Yeah?
I'll grab.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's good. It's hearty. Like it is a bold taste for most of the beers. Actually, a funny story about that is the first time my son, and I think every dad does this to a kid at some point. My son was 10 or 11, maybe. I think he was over 10. We're at a gathering. I've got a beer, and it's called a Founder's Dirty Bastard, which is a bourbon aged beer. So it's strong. It's a stout, I believe. Or it's an ale. So it's dark. It's a dark beer. Now I have one, maybe two, and I'm done. Done drinking that. He comes up to me and he's like, "Dad," and he's giving me that kind of sideways kind of look, and I'm standing around a bunch of my friends, and I'm like, "Yeah, can I try your beer?" I go, "Sure," and he gets wide-eyed. He's like, "Really?" Yeah, no problem. So I give it to him, and he's like holding it, like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what's gonna
Wait
happen?
for this taste.
And he takes a big old drink of it, and I swear his face just turned inward on itself. He's like, "Oh my god!" And I said, "And all beer tastes like that. Give it back." And it like swore him off of asking to try anything to drink for like since then.
Yeah,
he's like, "I don't like the taste of alcohol." Like, well, you didn't like the taste of that one for sure.
Yeah,
but
that'll probably last till college. Peer pressure's a bitch.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, as soon as he figures out that some alcohol can taste really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the tasting.
Yes.
So you swirl it around, look at the color. There it is. The next one is that you gotta the nose. You gotta
the nose.
And what they taught us was, you stick your nose in there and you take a breath, and then
I feel like you're doing this way faster before me, man. We're supposed to do that as a team. This is Johnny and TheGreg.
You haven't even poured yet. Come on.
No, I haven't poured because I thought we were supposed to introduce what we're drinking today.
Oh,
I'm trying to make this a professional podcast, and this is just Johnny and TheGreg in the garage. No.
Yeah, that's what we usually do. Okay, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking good old Buffalo Trace. Little
Okay.
short history on it. The reason why I thought it was kind of cool, I had to try it, was naturally because I listened to Joe Rogan and he talked a bunch about it. But I thought was
Mhm.
really interesting about Buffalo Trace. If you guys like the type of whiskey where it's smooth and it doesn't bite you as it's going down your
Mhm.
throat, this is a good one for you. What I like about this one is this thing's been around since like 1771, and it was around during Prohibition. The guy who was running the distillery or the company, I don't know the difference really, he got a special permit to make medical whiskey. I guess they used it a lot and at that
Sure.
time for medical reasons. So this was allowed to stay open the entire time. So Buffalo Trace, I'm a fan. Grab some. Greg, what are you drinking while I pour this?
I am drinking Four Roses small batch,
Okay.
available at Costco, or wherever fine liquors
Liquors are
are
sold.
sold. Um, did you know that Costco is the number one liquor retail in the United States? Like they sell more liquor and booze than anybody else, which I totally probably agree with
Yeah, I
because
can see that now that you said it. Never occurred to me before, but I can see that now. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
every time I'm in Costco, I go up and down their liquor aisle, see what they got. So,
Yeah.
anyway, Four Roses comes from for the Four Roses distillery. It's from let's see, I'm trying to think if I'm trying to remember my history. The small batch, it's from a single barrel small batch, so it's not mixed with anything. Like everything that's in that bottle came out of the same barrel. Usually, you want to get it if you're going to taste it, like you're going to do tasting, you don't chill it, you don't water it down, you don't mix it, you just take it straight room temp as you get it. So
Wait, that's Four Roses
uh,
or that's any type of whiskey?
probably any type, but
Okay.
more specifically, like when this is more of what I would consider a drinking bourbon. So this is like you get a little bit. I mean, if you're
Hmm.
going to have a bigger drink out of it, that's fine. If you're not doing a tasting, but you just get a liquor glass, pour some in there, and that's what you're going to be sipping on for probably a while.
Okay.
You don't do shots of this stuff. You do shots of other whiskeys, but this is not one that you're going to do a shot with.
All right.
This is the one that you've got to be a bourbon fan. You're going to drink it. You're gonna sip it. You're going to enjoy it. Then that's what we're
Oh,
going with.
oh, Mr. Struley, I have a question.
Yes, Mickey Mouse shirt in the front row.
What is the difference between a whiskey and a bourbon, sir?
Not much. What we call a bourbon is that it's made in Kentucky, and when you're on the tour, what they say what makes it a bourbon is the natural spring water that is found all through Kentucky. But the process of making a bourbon versus a whiskey is no different. So, like if you get Jameson from Ireland,
Yeah,
it's the same process. You got the mash, you're going to go through that distilling process the same way.
but it's just not from Kentucky, so it's not a bourbon.
It's just not from Kentucky. Yeah.
Boom, guys, educated from Johnny and TheGreg. You're welcome.
I
All right, so now,
really hope I'm right on that.
I smell this. That's what I do
Yep,
now.
you smell it. You smell it. You just stick your nose in there. Keep your mouth closed, and you get some different hints. Like this one, I get a little bit of sweetness up front, not a lot of spice.
Yeah, I get sweetness in mine.
Okay.
I don't get.
Now
I
the
don't get
second part.
any spice.
Now the second sniff you're gonna take, you're gonna open your mouth just a little bit, like just part your lips and let the oxygen come in a little bit differently, and it hits your smeller just a little different.
It actually did. I can't describe what I smelled, but I did smell something
Yeah.
different. That was weird with your mouth open.
See, this I get a little bit of a woody kind of smell, maybe a little
Yeah,
bit more
okay.
of that spice.
Okay, I can get that. I see that. Maybe like the
Maybe
barrel part. I'm trying to see how it's distilled or what I
almost
have distilled, but
almost minty, I think, on
I
this
didn't get
one.
minty. But
Oh, they're different.
Ursula would have loved minty. You cleared up
Yeah,
though.
just a little. Okay. So
Okay.
we did step
This
one,
is
which is observe the color. We did in the swirl. We did step two, which is the smell. Now, step 3 is interesting. I didn't pick this part up from the Bourbon Trail. They taught us this, but I didn't get the name of it. They call it the Kentucky Chew.
Okay.
So the Kentucky Chew is you're gonna sip a little bit and you're gonna like swirl it around your mouth a little bit, and you can almost actually act like you're chewing on the bourbon, and that's gonna bring out a lot of different flavors and notes.
Okay. So
And then once you're
the Kentucky Chew.
yep, hold on there.
Oh, right.
Hold on
Sorry.
there. So once you're jumping ahead, you swirl it around, you get those notes, and then after you swallow it, you smack your lips together a couple times. You do one of those.
For real?
Which I hate, which I absolutely hate the sound of, but it's going to bring forth some different flavors by doing that, according to the experts.
Okay. So this isn't
I'm
something
not considering myself.
This isn't something you're just going to make me do and laugh at me, right? This is like what you're actually.
This is what the professionals have told me to do. Yep.
First off, I think I took too much. So I think that really ruined the experience. I definitely took
too much. That warm feeling though?
Yeah, I love that warm feeling. That's a good part. But that wasn't as smooth as it usually is. All right, so what am I supposed to taste with the...
It just kind of like, I don't know if it's how the air then hits your tongue or something like that, but it's going to bring out some different things. So like what I get when I was swirling it around, I immediately got almost like a caramel kind of taste.
Caramel, okay.
Yeah, like
I gotta try this again because I think I got way too much in my mouth.
Maybe even a cinnamon. Yeah, you don't need a lot.
No.
See, that one got a little bit different. I almost got like a cinnamon on that one.
God, I suck. I don't know what I tasted. It tasted good. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what it tasted, but I can definitely see that when I took it the second time. Go ahead.
So this is like how I never really understood people that did wine tastings. I'm like, all wine, it's like I can drink red or white or that in between one. I can't taste the difference from a lot of them, but I know people that can. They're like, oh no, I pick up hits of this and that and the other thing. I'm like, I don't get any of that at all. But having tasted enough bourbon, I can see where you can start to train yourself to maybe get something else. Like this is super smooth, I think. Where if I was doing like a Bullet has a little bit more of a bite to it, I think.
Okay.
And some people who just absolutely love Jack Daniels, I can't do it anymore. I mean, the bite on that is so hard. I mean, it's harsh.
I think it's a good. Actually, it's not a good. Like I was thinking, why wouldn't you mix it? It's fine if you mix it. That's it. It's fine if you mix it with like Coke or ginger ale.
Like a Jack and Coke.
It's fine. Okay, but if you guys want to, I don't know, elevate your game a little bit, try to find like a good whiskey to have that with whatever mixer you have.
Like if you're looking to enjoy whiskey, bourbon,
enjoy, not get wasted. Enjoy,
right? Yeah, I mean, I drank a lot of Jack in my 20s. Like that was my drink when I was in my 20s. Was like a Jack and Coke or Jack and something. But yeah, and I thought I was sophisticated because I was drinking whiskey and everybody else was still drinking beer. But the reality of it was, I was just drinking a brand name whiskey. Yeah. I thought I was getting after it
whiskey.
In my 20s. But yeah, I mean that, and so the more you taste and kind of start to identify, even just like the parts of your tongue and how it hits.
Yeah.
You can start to taste, well, that's a little bit sweeter, that's a little bit not. Like even with some bourbons, you get like a peppery, like a peppercorn kind of.
I got a copper taste there.
A little bit of copper. Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of like an earthy
Yeah.
kind of to it.
That's for you people driving, getting thirsty right now. Don't drink and drive, by the way. For those of you that are listening.
Well, it's funny when I went to when I was on the Bourbon Trail, like you go to these tastings and these distillery tours.
Drink and drive?
No. But you will, like when you see them pouring the tasting glasses, like they're in there with an eyedropper, just giving you like a full eyedropper of each of their selection, because they're like, that's really all you need for like a tasting. Like even this much in my glass, they're like, no, we can't give you that much because it's tasty. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So drinking.
What are we thinking here, Greg? Is that too much? It's probably too much.
Well,
right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if like they're not going to give you that much at a distillery tour.
Yeah, interesting. Shoot, I forgot water.
Yeah, kind of.
This is gonna be a fun one. No. Yeah, that was cool. So
I would recommend Four Roses. It is, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little bit pricier. I wouldn't necessarily call it cost effective in terms of bourbon. It is one that you can keep on your shelf. Like if you only buy a bottle every once in a while, it's one that you could get and keep on there. If you're going to drink more bourbon, then I would go for more, I guess, like I really like Bullet. I like Bullet Rye. Maker's Mark is always a great one. A good standard bourbon. And what I really like about Maker's Mark is if you just get like their main line, their Maker's, it's got the wax top on it. You can do this. Like you can pour a little bit, enjoy it, it's good. But if you want to mix it and like make a cocktail or something like that, it's a great bourbon for that too. Four Roses small batch, if I was making a cocktail with it, I know some bourbon guys in this area, they'd be like, you're not mixing that, are you? What the hell's wrong with you? Like they get offended if you're mixing
hey, when I was at your house a couple or 2 months ago, or about a month ago, what did you make? You made me a Manhattan, right?
No, I made you an old fashioned.
Old fashioned, sorry. What whiskey did you put in there?
Corbel.
Yeah,
I didn't put whiskey in it at all. You had a brandy old fashioned.
Oh.
I made you the Wisconsin style. Which Corbel actually, I think it was Corbel. They just came out with their statistics. Wisconsin, so like the state of Wisconsin,
right,
drinks half of the world's brandy. So if you take the whole world and how much brandy
up
they
north,
produce,
it gets a little lonely and cold.
Well, they sit there and they're like, so we send half of our brandy all over the world, and the other half that we produce goes to Wisconsin. Wow.
That is crazy. That's a crazy fact of the day brought to you by the Greg.
It is. It really is.
Get your bonus one there, guys.
And what's funny, like
in the middle of a podcast.
Like I know we live in a drinking culture in Wisconsin. It's very much of part of our identity. So there are people that are like, hell yeah, we do. Yeah, they like get all proud of it, and the top 10, top 20 drunkest cities in America, like most of them are in Wisconsin. like two of them are in other cities in the world, but the rest are in Wisconsin. We're like, okay, yeah.
But it almost seems like it's like harmless, and it's so ingrained in the Wisconsin culture that it's just kind of like, it's what you fucking do.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until I started traveling a little bit for work. I remember I was out. I'm at a conference, right? And so we're in San Diego, so I'm out on the West Coast, and I'm hanging out with people from Raleigh on the East Coast, and I'm the client. They're representatives of the company that is throwing on the conference, and so we're just walking around having a good time, blah blah blah. And it gets to be around bar time, around 2 a.m. And they're like, man, I can't believe that we're still out. And we got a client still hanging out with us. I'm like, oh, is this late? Do you guys need to go? They're like, aren't you done? I'm like, oh, if we want to hit one more on the way back, I can. And they're just like, aren't you like feeling it? I'm like, no. No.
Yeah. You have a very high tolerance. You have a very high tolerance.
I
Like,
don't think so. I don't think so. I mean,
well, I mean,
compared
if you're
to
comparing it to maybe like your family, I don't know, but I feel like every time you and I have a drink, I would say probably I feel it much faster than you do.
yeah, I don't
Much
think
faster.
it's. I think my body weight helps take care of a lot of that.
It might. It might. So, um, yeah. I forgot I was going to go with this. See, I'm already starting to feel it now. See, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So for those of you, hey guys, Wisconsin football is coming back. It's coming back this weekend. So this is a great time to go out and grab your favorite kind of whiskey, sit back, and really enjoy the game.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
want
I'm
that
excited.
outside feeling, that little crisp, open up some windows, put on
Yeah.
a Wisconsin Badger sweatshirt. Greg has several of them if anybody needs one. And
The fact that I have this, which is another nice Costco grab. I literally bought the camo because I'm like, I don't have a camo one. It was camo or black. I'm like, I got a black one. Let me grab a camo.
I don't even think that's camel.
It's just up here. I mean,
It's like no, but to me that's not camo. That's like hunting camouflage. Like it's not camo. Well, camo is camouflage. I meant
it's not jungle print if that's what you're getting.
yeah.
But,
I don't know. I just I don't know what I was saying. We'll move on. Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
You brought up my clothing, which is interesting. Does it amaze you that I have as much Wisconsin wear as I do?
Absolutely.
Really?
It does.
Huh.
Because I was actually, as I review, sometimes I review old podcasts, and I think you've shown your collection, and it's like over 20 shirts. I would bet.
I do. I have a lot of T-shirts. Like I have more T-shirts than I think I'm comfortable with. Partially because I never really throw any away. Like if and guys get like the pits and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
just cut the sleeves off and make them like yard work shirts, and then that's like another couple years before I throw them out.
Sounds like a Wisconsin boy to me.
I have too many T-shirts. I think I have a problem.
It doesn't bother me. I think it's fine. It's just I'm sure if you were looking at my T-shirts, it'd be that way, but not necessarily all Wisconsin.
Well, I was gonna say you have a collection of like collegiate shirts. Like even when I was traveling, like you would ask me like, "Hey, can you pick me up a hat from wherever it was I was going?"
Yes.
And then your wife pulled me aside later. Your wife pulled me aside and she's like, "Don't you dare buy him." I'm like, why not? She's like, "Don't. He has enough. He does not need any more. You do not buy him."
It's so funny to me when I shouldn't say girls, but when wives pull that, when they pull the whole, he has enough of that. Like if I really wanted to get near, if we really want to get to the bottom of it, I'm sure I could find something that you have way too much of, whether it be shoes, dresses, makeup, brushes. I'm sure how many hair dryers. Well, that's unfair. You have a lot of girls in your home.
Well,
how many does Krista have? That's hers. She have more than one hair dryer that's hers?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, Ursula has I think 3, and I don't know why. And one of them, though, I understand because one of them is for like out of the country, because everybody has different.
Oh, sure.
Plugs for that.
We don't travel out of the country, so we don't do that.
So she has.
Do you? I can't remember because I'm not in your bedroom that often. Do you have like the side-by-side sink in your bathroom, in your master bathroom?
No. We just have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a side-by-side, like my side, her side,
right? And
her side doesn't matter. I've tried like switching sides with her. Doesn't matter. Her side just encroaches.
That's like the bed. It's like the bed in the middle of the night.
Just, I mean, you can tell how often I need a hair dryer.
Right.
But it still doesn't matter what side I'm on, whether I'm by the door or I'm by the toilet. It's still like, it's hanging over on my. I'm like, why? Why is it here? I don't need it.
Yeah. You walk into our bathroom. She's gonna kill me for this, but there is you gotta watch yourself because there's nothing. It's probably one of the worst pains in the world in the middle of the night when you go to the bathroom and you step on a plug.
Mm-hmm.
That really hurts. Because she has all of her curling irons. I said curling irons because there's the flat, there's the regular one, there's the one that doesn't work in the summer or something weird like that. I don't know. She has her system, right? Who am I to judge? She has a system. Anyway,
Yeah.
those systems have plugs, and those plugs are usually on the floor. So they're kind of everywhere. So yeah, they women kind of take over the
Yeah.
bathroom. They take over the house. They take over everything. I ever tell you that the first time that got my first apartment ever, gave Ursula the keys because she's like, she wanted to like, I thought she wanted to like bring me flowers to say like congratulations or honest to
Uh-huh.
God, I thought she was gonna like meet me in some lingerie and when I got home at night type of thing. I
Yeah,
come home,
that's a
I come home and there is furniture and there's a TV and there's dishes and there's a dining room table and there's a bed frame and there's a mattress. And I went, what the hell? I was gone for 4 hours. She's like, oh, what? You don't like this? I'm like, I actually like it, but I wanted to pick out something. This was my apartment,
this
and I
was my
wanted to
apartment.
yeah. And like within 4 hours, she had everything furnished. I haven't had any space except own space in my head from then on.
Huh.
Yeah.
We talk about that. I never lived alone.
Yeah.
Like I lived with you
Right.
and then got married and then lived with Krista.
Well, not only that,
So
you didn't really even live with me. You kind of lived. You checked in to let me know you were alive,
I
and
did
then
a
went
lot of
back to
back.
Krista, and then went back to Krista's. Like you were
Yeah.
there a lot.
Well, yeah, we were engaged. We were
Well, I know.
making wedding plans and doing all that stuff.
What I'm saying was, even were you engaged during college?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did.
Well, yeah, the summer after you and I lived together is when I got married. And that was, I mean, you were not done yet.
97, right?
I
97.
wasn't done yet. No, this is 2000 I got married.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. It was, so we talked about that. I mean, she had her own apartment. She had roommates that, like a couple of roommates that would sublease from her.
Right.
But she had some time like living on her own. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that was like. I
And
never
yeah,
got to decorate my own apartment.
I
And
guess
it was
that was one of
always,
the things in my life where I knew it didn't bother me, so I knew this is probably the one because this doesn't bother me.
yeah.
Like I'm actually cool with this. I like that's sweet of her. I would have liked to have picked the couch, or just been in the process or something. It was just
Yeah,
amazing to
really.
me that in 4 hours, when that woman needed to get everything in the house, she got it all in the house.
How'd she do that?
I don't know. I need to ask her that again. Like who
She's
helped her
not
out?
that big.
Yeah,
Yeah, she carried the couch.
she carried that. So anyway, I think we'll end it there. I think we did a good job
Yeah.
there with the whole whiskey. Like I said, guys, Wisconsin football is coming back, or whatever collegiate football is in your neck of the woods. It's a great time to grab some whiskey, especially if you're in the Midwest and our Big Ten football is coming back. So if you're an Iowa fan, if you're a Northwestern fan, Illinois, Minnesota, whatever, grab some whiskey, sit back, relax. Listen
Watch a
to
game.
Johnny and TheGreg before you drink your whiskey, and then enjoy your football game. That's my advice.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's end that with a fact of the day, brought to you by me. Random fact is, oh hi Jennifer. According to actor Liam Hemsworth, Jennifer Lawrence would purposely eat foods with garlic or tuna fish before any kissing scenes between the two of them while filming The Hunger Games: Mockingjay. Okay.
Okay.
How would you interpret that, Greg?
Well, I've heard she's kind of a jokester.
I
So
heard she's
maybe
weird.
she. Oh, really?
Like just weird. Like just one of those personalities where you're like, okay, I don't know where you're going with that.
Just
But
like one of those like Hollywood types. It's like you're a little off. Like that's what it has to
yeah,
happen to
yeah.
be.
Like yeah. I mean we've met this isn't bad. We've met them in theater before, in the theater group. We've met some birds that fly their own way, right? And
Sure.
so we've never like. So I'm not saying she's weird in a bad way. She's just yeah.
I bet.
So I don't know if
she
that's
thought
just something
it was-
she's doing, or maybe you're right. Maybe it's a joke, or maybe she just
Yeah.
doesn't find Mr. Hemsworth attractive.
Oh, well, come on. Who doesn't?
I mean, it's a Hemsworth.
It's a Hemsworth.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet she thought it was hilarious.
probably. And he's like, "That's great." After the 8th take,
Yeah,
like, can
yeah.
you get a mouth?
Give,
Can you get a mouthwash or
give one
something?
of those directors and it's like, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah. That has to be really awkward, man. Like, okay, let's say you're an actor. Let's say we're actors. Like, wouldn't you'd brush your teeth, you'd floss maybe 3 or 4 times before you had the scene, right? You'd make sure your breath was pristine.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you really hated the person.
All of a sudden, yeah, I don't know. That would be awkward. And then I've heard about during like actual love scenes where,
dude, that has to be so awkward, especially if your spouse is like
right
watching,
there.
Right there watching it.
I think if you're married to an actor, that's just gotta come with the territory, maybe.
Right.
Although I have heard of some actors that are like, I won't do it. I won't make out with another woman. You gotta dress up my wife as a body double or whatever.
Right.
Or they just refuse to do it. I can't remember what actor was watching. It was like in an interview. And I think it was for a European talk show, so they cover some more risque kind of stuff as opposed to the American ones. And so he's like, well, he had to make out with some hot actress type. He's like, how do you not get excited? Like
that's my
where you have a physical response. He's like, well, I went into it, and he's like, first off, you've got, there's 40 guys all staring at you. You got the electrician, you got the lighting guy, you've got the camera guy who was just like, all right. And he's like, so there's nothing romantic about it. He's like, but at the same time, if you got some hot chick that's like rubbing up on your junk for 8 takes, something's probably gonna happen.
I would think so.
So he looked at the actress and he's like, okay, so I'm sorry if I do, and I'm sorry if I don't. Like, he had to cover like all of his bases.
And that's clever.
She was like, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I never thought of the other way. I've never thought of, okay, so if I'm the girl in a sex scene and this guy isn't getting remotely excited, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
I never even thought of that. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, something to think about, guys. All right. For that, we are done today. So everybody, as always, thank you very much for listening. For Johnny and the Greg podcast out. Take care, everybody.
Cheers.